Hello! This is Like by Happenstance, and I'm Kendra, and this is episode 50 of Makes Monday. Makes Monday is my crochet podcast where I, apparently today, am joining you from my porch with all the naturey sounds. Hope you're enjoying the evening turn here in Kansas. It's, I think, about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening, and apparently the bugs, as soon as I sat down, got louder. But it's also nice and cool, so they're staying away from me. You may have noticed there's not an episode title. Well, this week, I didn't really have any particular, word that was an overarching theme to how my week went or things that went on. I even consulted my family, and they had nothing, good or interesting to contribute either. It was a week, I guess, where every day was just varied, and there was no overarching theme. So, I thought we'd go old school, pull out my dictionary from college. It says Kendra on it, because I used this when I used to copy edit, and pick a word this way. So, we'll stop right here, and let's see, let's look for an adjective. The first adjective on this page, page 658 of the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is screwy. It's an adjective meaning crazily absurd, eccentric, or unusual. Second definition is crazy or insane when things are screwy, which actually I would not have picked that word for my week, but my week has felt screwy. It's been up and down physically, mentally, emotionally, and otherwise. Today is Tuesday. I did not film yesterday because I did not feel well yesterday. I felt really icky last night, and so, yeah. Here I am, slightly less exhausted, post-nap, ready to show you what I crocheted in my screwy week. See, sometimes happenstance just picks the best words for you, doesn't it? Because I wouldn't have thought of that, but that is a good definition for my week. So let's begin by discussing what is off my hook. I have 3 things off my hook. We'll start with the one that was on my on the hook list, because I told you I was trying to whittle that down some. And the first thing that I whittled off it was my You Willa shawl. And I finished this on the 15th of August. I started it in December of 2017. And I used a size 7 hook. This is from the You Willa, U-W-I-L-A pattern by Serzium Crochet. It's a free pattern on Ravelry if you search. It is supposed to have owls, hence the name You Willa, which I guess means owl in German, I think, when I looked it up. But I had attempted to make the owly portion and did not like it. So, this part here is made out of some yarn that I had been yarn fairyed with my husband's coworker. So I don't know what it is, but when I was messing with it, I'm fairly certain that it was Cascade Heritage Sport, based on size and color and stuff. And I looked online, and I thought that I had matched on Ravelry the exact color, because I didn't have a ball band, I just had pieces. And so I had ordered some Cascade Heritage Sport, which is this segment right here, and the one that I ordered was a little more silvery than the original color. I also added in some, the yarn company is called Bendig Woolen Mills. It's from Australia, and it has a combination of wool and bamboo and viscose, and is there alpaca in it too? It's a blend of wools. It's called Autumn Mix, and I got that a few years ago in a swap package with a woman from Australia. So this is how it's turned out. I've woven in all my ends, so thank you all for existing, because without you I probably wouldn't, and then I wouldn't be able to use the item. But I have not blocked it. I mean, I ultimately probably will. I think that when I block this, this is going to grow like crazy, and I actually imagine be super duper comfy, but it just hasn't happened yet, because the blocking just recently occurred. But here is what it looks like on. I imagine that come winter time, you will probably see a decent amount of this. I like the shape of the shawl because it has a nice crescent to it, but it's not super, it's a gradual crescent. Like, it's a half circle-ish crescent. so it doesn't sit super deep along my butt. Like, I don't like when the part from your neck to your waist gets too long, but I still need it to be wide enough to wrap around me. And since I'm fairly large, it ends up, you know, with a lot of depth to get that much width. So we'll see how this works out. Just for your reference, if you decide you want to make this pattern, it's a free pattern. So the designer uses a stitch they call the hopscotch stitch for the body of it, and then there's supposed to be an owl section that you work on. So this is the amount of the body section, and the owls should have started where this dark brown is, but I elected to not do that part and then just keep going with the pattern, which I then had to figure out the increases myself. Obviously they were not given in the pattern, but that wasn't terribly difficult for me. So I'm very, very happy with it, and I like the colors, and I've always been looking for the right project to put this in. I used the beginning of this ball to make a hat when I first received it, and I've just been holding on to it because I wanted it for something special for me, and this feels like something special for me, so I'm looking forward to using it. And it's also super neutral, and those of you that have been following me for a while know that I don't have a lot of neutral. I tend to make things bright and colorful because bright and colorful is kind of the MO around here. But you know, it's not bad to have a little something to mix and match with those bright and colorful things, right? So that is the You Willa shawl. Then I have two more things off my hook, and these were not originally on my On the Hook list last week. They are new projects. Remember I told you I was going to start new projects? Well, I'm a lying liar who lies. So this is the first one. This is a hat that I designed and worked up, and my daughter has claimed this one. So this is not how the finished pattern worked up, but here it is. So she likes her hats like adult size. She's 9, but she likes them super duper like big, pretty slouchy. So she can wear it this way, or you can turn up the brim like so. So basically, if a hat fits me, then it will likely fit her. So she's really excited to get this off my hot little hook. Again, I wove in all the ends, and there was some ends because they're striping. This is made out of loops and threads, soft and shiny in the colors citrus, gray, and black. And yeah, I'll tell you more about the pattern here in just a second when I show you its friend. So this is a new pattern that I have designed, and it is going to be called the Think With Your Heart hat. And it is going to be available through Patreon, which I'll talk about in just a second. So, again, this is made out of Michael's loops and threads, soft and shiny in the colors citrus, gray, and black. And you can wear it two ways. This is the final pattern that I decided on. You can wear it like a beanie, but it's a beanie with just a little bit of room, so it'll fit like a decent amount of hair, if that's, you know, what you got going on at a given time. You can also unfold the brim, which has this heart detail on it, and you can wear it doing this without a mirror. If I look very unjudged or my hair is all crazy, that's what you get. You could also wear it as kind of a slouchy thing, which if I still had longer hair, it would probably look even cuter. But it covers your ears nice, and I enjoy the sizing of this hat. So the kind of features of it are, it matches the Inspiritment shawl, which is the patron exclusive pattern that you get at the $2 or higher level on my Patreon account. As soon as you sign up at that level, you get your name on the Shawl of Fame, and you also get a copy of the Inspiritment pattern. This will coordinate with that pattern. It has a similar heart motif. The way that the striping lines up, you have the kind of pop of green at the top, the gray stripe, the black stripe, and then the black stripe shows through on the hearts that are around kind of the brim. So I like how that turned out. This pattern will also be available on Patreon in a new way. So as of when you all see this, there will be a new perk level on my Patreon account. So you'll have the $2 level, which will get your name on the Shawl of Fame and access to the Inspiritment pattern. The $5 level is Peachlet Post, where monthly, me and my fibery doppelganger Peachlet make you a personal postcard and mail it out to you. Those are winging their way to patrons all over the country as we speak. And then there will be a new level, the $8 level, and that will be Peachlet's pattern collection. If you would like to see what Peachlet keeps in her pattern collection, the $8 patron level will give you access to all of those posts. I am moving all of my previously free patterns, which were either available on YouTube or my website. I'm moving them over to Patreon under that tier. I am also going to be publishing the Think With Your Heart hat, and there's a bunch more coming. So if you are interested in that, you can sign up over on Patreon. The way it'll work is that once you're signed up at that level, you will have access to a number of posts, and each post will have, there'll be a different post for each of the patterns. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I have already, since I made that decision, I've thought about it a lot this week, and in the weeks leading up to this. Since I made the decision to do things this way, I've been way more like inspired and interested in actually finishing a bunch of designs and getting them out to you all, because design work takes a lot of effort, both creatively and time-wise and resource-wise, because I like to make 2 or 3 of something before I release the pattern. That's a lot of yarn. And so it's very difficult for me to just be able to put that stuff out in the world for free. I know that lots of people do. I just don't feel like I can right now. But this is a way that you can get access to a large number of patterns for a super reasonable price. Like at the $8 level, my hope is that I will have moved at least 8 patterns over there by the time you have access to it, with more continually coming out. So at some point, there'll be gobs of patterns. Peachlet can be quite the little hoarder of my designs if she gets her way. So that is that. And I'm really happy with that hat pattern, so check it out if that's something you're into. And let's look at the things that are still on my hook. The first thing that's on my hook is my Sands of Change Afghan. And it may look a little different than the last time you saw it, because it is a different version than the last one that you saw, because I'm a ridiculous human. So here it is. I've switched up the color order. I've switched up the hook size. I pulled it out when I was looking at the things on the hook list. I was like, I need to get working on the Sands of Change. Now that the Tides of Change has left my house, this needs to be a priority. And so I went and pulled out what I had completed already. And it had a spot where the yarn had gotten funny, where I had it sitting. One of my cat's claws had gotten caught, and like it had tugged on one of the plies of the yarn. So I was like, okay, well I should probably fix that. And as I was kind of looking at it, I wasn't happy with the way it was laying still. And so the pattern calls for a J-hook, and it doesn't really give you a gauge swatch of any sort. So I started out as it called for, as you know, and then that was not working. It was getting all wonky. So I had frogged that out, and I had tried a couple of different size hooks to see what I liked. And frankly, I really did prefer it with my L hook. Thing is, I don't like my L hook as much as I like my K hook for working with worsted weight yarn. So I was just trying to push through and use the K. And it wasn't right. And I wasn't happy with the colors I had touching, and I like this orientation so much better. That I just started the middle with the L, and I was like, okay, and I fought through the first like 4 rows, and then it was fine, and I like doing it with the L. So that's what I'm doing. This is gonna be like an endless project. I've just decided that, and I'm okay with that, but I want to be happy with the end result. And yeah, so here it is in a new incarnation. I will put this marker here so that next week, hopefully, I can show you progress. I really should be better about that. I have, since I finished up some things, I have released a number of progress keepers from Purgatory in old projects, so that is good. But that is the Sands of Change, which is a pattern by Frank O'Randall. I am making it in 4 colors of Red Heart Super Saber. We have Claret, Burgundy, Charcoal, and cherry red. So that is where I stand on that. And I'm actually interested in working on it again, which that is, I mean, that's the big thing with those blankets. They're a slog. It's going to end up being approximately 6 feet in diameter. So, yeah, I think I'm, what, like 18 inches through it? So I've got a ways to go. But it'll all get done eventually. Unless I keep just starting over, I don't know. But I think it'll all get done eventually. The next thing I worked on some this week was my Inspiritment shawl. This is being made out of Red Heart Super Saver in the color Artistic Print. I have already put one whole skein into it, and I'm this far into a second, so it's starting to get kind of wibbly wobbly in there. So the original one that I made, which is hanging on my Shawl of Fame in my office, in the colors that matches the Think With Your Heart hat. I used a size H hook, and that's what the pattern calls for. However, that was made out of loops and thread, soft and shiny. And I used the H through the whole first skein of this, and I just feel like it might be just a little bit tight, or my gauge was just turning out tight. Quite possibly just because of my, like, personal tension level. We'll see. But I switched up to an I, and I'm just happier with the... It's just a little bit looser, and it's more pleasant to work with. And you can't tell the difference because of the way the shawl is. So if you're working up the shawl and at some point you think you might want to try a different gauge, do a little bit and it will likely just blend right in. So this is how far I am. I think I was like here last time I showed you. I think I know I added a heart repeat. So yeah, it's probably down here when I showed you last. So I got a decent amount done, and I threw a progress keeper in so that next time we can see where we are at. This will probably, I don't know, I'm probably halfway through. But we'll see how far I decide to go with it. I have plenty of this yarn, so I could even go beyond what the pattern is written for, but I really think that's the size I'm looking for. So we'll see. I'll just keep chugging along on that. That's kind of my like take in the car if we go somewhere project, and we really didn't go very many places this last week, thankfully. I think we actually only left the house one day, and I worked on that in the car on the way there, and I worked on it a little bit one evening while we were at home. So, you know, I got a decent amount done for how little I actually worked on it. Then, in this bag, we have my Cogitation number 2. For those of you that didn't watch for a while, I started something in April called the Cogitation, where I went back and I was re-watching all of my old videos from the previous year. It was leading up to me having my 1-year anniversary. I've since passed that on May 15th. So, you know, I'm into year 2 a decent bit already. But I am not finished with the second wrap. The first wrap included May, June, and July. And it will be available, the pattern for that will be available in a Peachless pattern collection over on Patreon. But this is the second one. And basically what I'm doing is I'm watching all the videos, and then I figured out a design scheme where using what I do in the videos determines, by happenstance, the pattern for the wrap or what have you. This is actually going to become a cowl. And I love it. I love it so much. It's turning out so good. I'm almost done with this, and this will be the August segment. There will be a video when I complete it, hopefully by the end of this August, talking about the videos that were from that last August, and things that I learned, noticed, ways that I improved, perhaps, things that maybe I have since frogged, or, you know, just whatever I find from watching videos of myself. It's an interesting way to reflect on previous crafting of mine, and my growth as like a creator, video and otherwise. So it's just kind of an interesting project. It's very much a personal passion project. I don't know that anybody else cares about the Cogitation project, either the pattern or the videos or whatever, but to me it's a really interesting I don't know, like scrapbook of time. So I'm looking forward to getting this done. I don't know, I'll probably finish it up in the next day or two, so I'm not even going to throw a progress keeper in it because hopefully it will be done and out in the world to y'all before I see you again next week. And that is all the things that I have worked on. And yeah, it was a good crafting week, I guess. I got a lot done. Even if they weren't the things I necessarily thought I was going to get done. I don't know what this week is going to bring. So far, yesterday brought mostly working on the cogitation as I was curled up in a ball on the couch most of the day and night. And then, I don't know, today I've yet to actually do any crocheting. So we'll see what I come up with. I am still trying to focus on whittling down my on the hook list. And all of these things are obviously on that list along with some others. I had been asked about whether the list stresses me out. And not really. I think I've talked in some places. I forget sometimes what I've said in daily vlogs versus these videos, so I'm repetitive and redundant. Oh well. Some of the things on my list, like when I was looking and I said that there were 20 things on my on the hook list, that includes a combination of design projects, so things that are in progress and I have not finished, some things that are finished and I need to make a second sample of, some things that are like just waiting for the design to be kind of worked out all the way, as well as things that are long-term projects like scrap stash blankets and things like that, and current, like active projects that I work on at a given time or get put in the naughty corner because they have an error. So it's a lot of different things, so the number really does not concern me. And frankly, the number doesn't concern me anyways, because numbers are just numbers. I think for the most part, it's more, that I be doing something active with the things that I have and that I only be working on things that I really like. So if I'm looking at that list and I do find there's something on it or I just keep not wanting to work on it because I don't like the project, well that really just tells me that project needs to disappear. I need to frog it. Or seeing the stuff on the wall, there are days where I'm like, ooh, I hadn't thought about this thing, and so I'll pull it back out and get going on that for a little while until either the fun runs out or the inspiration runs out. With design projects, that's a lot of it. I'll have like an idea or something I want to see if it works, and then you'll hit like a stopping point where like, oh, this is as far as my brain has percolated the idea. We're gonna wait, and I'll think on it some more, and then when I'm inspired to add the next segment, I will. So that's kind of where the list comes from, and I have enjoyed having it up on my wall. I have reorganized it and repinned it. And since that has happened, it is so much better. It had just basically gotten stuck up there the way it had because I needed to get the pieces of the little cards that I use. I needed to get them off the thing they had previously been on and up onto my new corkboard walls. I do like doing them on paper like this instead of on like a whiteboard because I can physically maneuver them around. So sometimes when I'm in a little crafty spin, I'll be looking at them and I'll just want to put everything that I think I'm really working on right now in one place. So I can take out the pins and I can like group things together. In September, I'm going to do Scraptember, where I'm going to use up all of the scraps I have. And I have 4 projects right now, I think, that are currently like scrap projects. I'm taking scraps from my stash and making them into something. And I want to actually finish those projects. So that's going to be my goal in September. So I'm kind of trying to tie up some other loose ends here by the end of August. So September, we can jump full force into Scraptember. So like those, I was able to pull aside, and I actually put a post-it on each one that says Scraptember. So that I knew you don't have to worry about these or even think about them till September. Unless you want to, but I don't want to, so. And then I even put some posts on some of the designy things so that I knew better, like why they're there, like need a second sample or weave in ends or that sort of thing. Because I have several things out there that just need the ends woven in and then they'll be done. But when it's something huge that has like hundreds of ends, I think that I should probably not consider it done until the ends are woven in. Hello, cogitation number 1. Despite the fact I've put out the pattern, the actual item still has ends out the wazoo that I need to handle. So that'll happen. Anyways, I hope that you all are having a fun, crafty week. Hopefully it's not too screwy over in your neck of the woods. Down below is a link to that Patreon account that I talked about if you are interested in supporting me that way. If not, no worries. It's just optional. And there's also a link to my online shop where I put up some super cute bags this week. We had fossils and tomatoes. Oh, so cute. And some camping and trailer bags trailer bags would be good for non-crafty people in your life for Christmas who like that sort of thing, like camping and stuff. They're super sturdy and really cute. So just so you know, and that's all the trailer fabric I have of that. So what you see is what you get. And I will see you all next time. Bye!